By now, if you're checking out this channel, you most likely would have seen the 2013 James Wan film, The Conjuring. In it, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga play Ed and Lorraine Warren, two prominent paranormal researchers who investigate anomalous events which befell a Rhode Island family, the Perrins, in the 1970s. Earning a surprising $318 million on a $20 million budget, the film became one of the highest-grossing horror films of all time. Sadly, this success did not come without a few problems. As revealed during the film's production, a number of strange events occurred during the making of The Conjuring. While drafting the script, screenwriters Chad and Carrie Hayes often called Lorraine to discuss the case, though their conversations were frequently interrupted by static, and the line often went dead. Warren believed that, given the nature of the script, she was surprised that the phones weren't acting up even more. During production, members of the Perrin family would visit the set. Sensing something was not right, Carolyn Perrin, the wife and mother depicted in the film, refused to come anywhere near the set. One afternoon, a gust of wind encircled the Perrin family while they were on the set in North Carolina. Though the wind itself wasn't strange, crew members found it odd that the trees nearby seemed unaffected. Even more bizarre, back in Atlanta, Carolyn, at the same moment the gust of wind ripped through the set, suddenly felt something ominous, like a dark presence in her midst. Somehow she ended up falling and suffered injuries severe enough that landed her in the hospital. A few days later, the cast and crew of the film were forced to evacuate their hotel after a fire broke out. Director James Wan also experienced something strange while working on the film. Working in his office late one night, Wan noticed his puppy was growling at something in the corner. He turned around to see what was upsetting his dog, but there was nothing in sight. Then she did something even creepier. She started tracking whatever she was staring at, which was nothing across the room. I was freaked out. It was at that moment I knew the story had gotten into my psyche and was really affecting me in a big way, Wan said. As recently as March 2016, the film's star, Vera Farmiga, revealed to Cinema Blend's Eric Eisenberg a pair of strange events that occurred prior to signing on to the film and after completing it. Quoting Vera Farmiga, quote, "The strangest occurrence for me personally on the first one was the day I had a creative conversation with James Wan. I had just been researching Lorraine. I wasn't familiar with her, and so before our phone call, I was on the computer and I had closed it. We had our conversation. At that point, I was just smitten with James. I said, if Patrick Wilson is in, because I knew at the time he had also been offered a role, then I'm in. I just wanted to be sure that Patrick was going to be my partner. So we agreed, and then we said goodbye, and I opened the computer screen, and there were 3 digital claw marks from the upper right diagonal to the lower left," unquote. Speaking to Jonathan Ryan of Pathos.com, she elaborated on the experience. "I don't know how to explain it. I do know I hadn't dropped the computer and my children hadn't stepped on it. So I gingerly closed it, put it away, and then my brain just went berserk." A few months later, on the very day that she completed her work on The Conjuring, Vera returned to her home in upstate New York. She was happy to be home and had a fairly peaceful evening. However, when she woke up the next day, she discovered what she described as 3 claw-mark bruises across her thigh. It wasn't incredibly painful. It might have felt like a bruise. It was like these 3 very distinct, what looks like claw marks that long nails or long fingertips, like thin fingertips, could make. But it didn't hurt, and I texted to James and I can't even remember his response. My husband did not do that to me. I did not scratch some mosquito bite. It's inexplicable, Vera told Eisenberg. She took a photograph of the claw marks that she showed to Eisenberg and a few others. Eisenberg admitted that he was a little creeped out. Vera further insisted that the claw marks on her laptop and on her thigh weren't exactly the same, as the ones on her computer were much thicker. But it's still the same kind of experience. The scratches were so disturbing to her that she began to reconsider being a part of the film's sequel. So there's been a lot of movies, like The Exorcist, Poltergeist, The Omen, where people who were working on the movie experienced a strange phenomenon, or the film itself seemed to be cursed. This film is. Some people would just claim, "Oh, it's just promotional." They're just trying to sell the movie, and they're making stuff up. It's just marketing. But the thing is, I don't know. I since I am actually a believer in the paranormal, I tend to believe that maybe what they're saying might be true. Maybe they did experience these weird things that happened during the production of the movie. I don't know. Sometimes, these things happen. I mean, it's the scratch on the computer before she signed on to the film, and the thing that happened directly after the film, like bookending this experience of making the movie. It seemed to be on one side it was a warning, and then maybe it was like kind of like payback or something. I don't know. Why would the entity scratch her after the movie? Maybe it was letting her know that that it was aware of her. I don't know. Patrick Wilson, as far as I know, didn't experience anything on the film. Director James Wan did. The writers did. And the fact that the cast and crew had to be evacuated from a hotel which caught fire is a series of coincidences, maybe. But maybe something was trying to tell them to back off. Maybe there was something, that was saying this shouldn't be made. Anyways, I saw the movie. I really enjoyed it. I know they took a creative license with some things. They always do with paranormal movies. And I know the second one's coming out soon. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up about this story. I'm sure 99.9% of you guys have already heard this stuff. So anyways, I'll leave it at that.